Happening in the world of law. Brittany Merlot gives us weather and wine, and we talk sports.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who once tore his ACL playing chess, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Night Light, ladies and gentlemen. All right. It is good to be back. Wednesday night version of Night Light here over across the beautiful state of Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. I've been waiting to say those words for 6 days. It is good to be back behind the mic and talking to all of you fantastic listeners. Thank you for being with me here tonight on Wednesday. Hope you had a great Pete's Staycation 2025. Conrad, how did you celebrate Staycation, Schwaba Staycation 2025?
You know, last night when John and Gordy were, guest hosting, they were like, it was kind of a spooky theme. So they thought maybe you vanished, actually, instead of a vacation.
Listen, I listened to part of that this morning, and I was like, oh, I'm really glad I booked Todd Michaels, who's going to talk about the paranormal on Wednesday.
Right.
It's like they're going to think we changed the format of the show. But no, big shout out to John and Gordy. They are so fun to listen to. They just compliment each other so well. They're just great at radio and really good guys. So thank you to John and Gordy for filling in Monday and Tuesday. Thank you to Aaron and Aaron Carreno and Catherine Lake for filling in on Thursday. Thank you to Conrad for holding down the fort. And who am I missing? Who else?
Your guest in the best of.
My guest in the best of. They did a great job, too. Much better than the first time around.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, it is great to be back. And thank you again to all those fine folks at Civic Media. Great team. Great show tonight, too. Coming out of the gate swinging. We're doing tonight what we do here. We're going to talk to some really cool guests. Todd Michaels, our old pal, who used to work here at WGBW and Civic Media. Todd is now doing, he got involved in another endeavor and is crushing it as I expected he would. Todd will be here at 6:35. Todd is also a paranormal investigator, and he will talk. I have some great topics to talk about with Todd. You ever hear of like those planes that just disappear from the sky?
Yeah. There was one over a sea or something. I forget what it was called.
The Malaysia one?
Yes,
in 2014.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
That is so far considered to be the biggest aviation mystery of all time. Like they can't describe it. So we'll talk about that with Todd. Todd also mentioned another really cool thing that happened. Not a really cool thing. A guy passed away, but he also a paranormal investigator around Todd's age was hosting a show and died. A doll. Where are my questions here? The Annabelle doll tragedy. And this just happened recently. So we're going to talk about that with Todd as well. So he's always fun to talk to, and I love when he's on Night Light. And then our pal Matt Miller will be here in hour number 2 at 7:20, talking movies and TV. Matt is a Milwaukee film critic and a great guest. Love talking to Matt about movies. I say movies and TV because they kind of go hand in hand, but Matt mostly has an emphasis on movies, but we'll find out what Matt is watching as well. So all that, a great question of the night. Pete and Conrad back on the airwaves. All is well in the world, folks. Hope you're having a great day, and it is great to have you here on this Wednesday. You know, it's going to be weird because I took 4 days off, and it feels like it was part of 1 week and part of another week. It feels like 2 weeks. It's like I don't know if I think one other time I took that much time off in a row since I've been here, and it is weird. It's like, wow, maybe I'll just retire. I don't know if just kind of like sitting here,
When I went to Italy last year, that felt like 2 months. It felt so long.
It was 2, wasn't it?
It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But
Okay.
it felt even longer than that.
Like when you got back, did you have trouble like going, what does this button do again?
Yeah,
Like,
I did a little bit. I was like, how loud does this need to be? Where does this need to be? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but it is great to be back. I had a great staycation with the family. We tried to do nothing. Staycations are difficult because, and you guys chime in on this if you have thoughts about staycations, because I think most people do them to save money, which is why we did it this year. We just couldn't afford to go anywhere real big, so we stayed at home and we just said we're not going to do anything. That's hard to do when you're in your home. It's so tempting just to pick up your phone or to do something household that you wouldn't do when you're on vacation. It's a challenge, but we made it work. I got to go to a fish fry.
Nice.
I'm not really off on Friday night, so that was fun. We went to the Little River Country Club in Marinette. It was glorious.
What was your fish of choice?
I went with the walleye, pan-fried.
You can't go wrong with the walleye.
You can't, but I will say this. I have very few regrets in life, Conrad, but if I could go back to last Friday, I would do deep fried.
Oh.
How do you like that? I like the crunch.
Yeah, I mean, deep fried perch is one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
Even better than that, though, deep fried bluegill.
You've said that before. I got to try bluegill. I don't
It's
know if I've ever had
so
bluegill.
good.
Yeah, a lot of people have said, do you like smelt?
I don't think I know what that is. That a fish?
It's a fish. You catch them like by the thousands in a net, and then they're really small.
Yep.
And I think you just like pan fry them and butter them. My dad will order smelt once in a while when we go out. And I remember when I was a kid, they used to catch them like in the rivers in Chicago or something, smelt, and they would cook it up. And I was like, that's kind of weird.
It's the most unappealing name I've ever heard
Smelt,
of for a food.
yeah.
That sounds like some metal.
Yeah. Just name it skank or like grossness or something like that. But I have to say, too, you know what? Let's get to we have a fun question tonight, folks, and it's high time I brought up what it was because you guys had a good question last night.
Yeah, it was great.
And we did something like that with, was it just ghosts, though? But they had aliens and ghosts, and what was your experience? I like that. That was really, it's nice when you can listen to your own show and learn from radio legends. So, all right, I'm going to find let's do the question of the night. What do you say?
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
All right, Bloody Mary chasers measuring distance in time instead of miles. Those are things we do here in Wisconsin. So my question of the night, folks, is what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? What do we do differently here that you like? We say bubbler instead of drinking fountain.
Yep.
There are all kinds of things. And I didn't realize measuring distance in time instead of miles was a thing, but I guess it is. How far away is that? About 15 minutes. How do you know that? What if I'm walking? What? So I thought that really cracked me up. But let us know what you think. We say things differently. People say, one of my favorites is or no.
Oh, yeah, that's
or
a
no?
huge one.
Here's another one I've noticed. I love when people say this. This could be everywhere, but I only noticed it, or I tend to only notice it when I'm in Wisconsin. When you get to the stoplight, go straight. Just tell me when to turn. Don't tell me. I don't know. Is that weird? Is that me being picky? I'm going to go straight until you say, just tell me when to turn.
Yeah.
And now we have GPS anyway, but that one kind of cracked me up. And I saw yours. A couple can mean anywhere from 2 to 100.
It's like you go out with your friends. And I'm going to grab a couple beers. And it turns into
100.
Oh, there's a couple of guys walking, and there's like a whole group.
Right. There's another one my friend Steve Seagren pointed out. He's been on this show, and he said in Wisconsin, you guys ask questions in a statement, like, going to the store, Pete? It's not really a question. So those would be my two, asking a question as a statement and the or no. Conrad says a couple can mean anywhere from 2 to 100. What do you guys say? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Let us know. You can text us on the app. Very easy to use. If you don't have the Civic Media app, here's what you do. You go to your local app store and you download it.
Oh, yeah.
It takes about 7 seconds, and then you are all set. And if you're listening on the stream or watching on the stream, I should say, at Facebook, YouTube, or X, you can drop us a stream comment there. Either way, it's great to have you. And we want to know, what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? So the Bloody Mary chaser is kind of funny because I don't think you need... Bloody Marys are not... It's not like you're doing shots of Jameson or Wild Turkey.
Oh,
They're pretty smooth.
Wild turkey. Oh,
Yeah, it's brutal.
oh yeah.
For that, I could see a chaser. But like for a Bloody Mary, they give you practically, at some places in Marinette, they give you almost a whole beer. And here's your chaser. It's like, oh, free beer. Okay. So we have all kinds of fun stuff we do here in Wisconsin that sets us apart, folks. Let us know what your favorite Wisconsin quirk is. That is tonight's question. I was laughing today because I did hear John and Gordy last night. I listened to you guys when you were doing the open of the show, and John, or one of the two, said, do you have trouble telling those guys apart? I just call him John or Gordy.
John or Gordy.
Hey, John or Gordy. I'm kidding. I said, they said they got scooped. They scooped me. And that must be a radio or journalism term. Like they got to a story before I did because I was off the air. And they were talking about Taylor Swift, which is very funny. She's getting married. One of my exes. That's troubling. But it did remind me that we do have an interview I did with Taylor Swift.
That is true. And, well, I'll say she was a little younger at the time.
She was much younger, but she's a phenom. I mean, she's putting out top 40 hits when she was like 16 or something like that.
And she did that great movie, with
It's Valentine's Day, right?
And let me tell you, if you watch it on Valentine's Day, it's the perfect movie.
You'll hate Valentine's Day. If you watch Taylor Swift's movie on Valentine's Day, you'll become a sweetest day kind of person. Do you have that clip handy?
Yeah, well, we'll have to play it.
After the break?
Yeah.
Are we that close to the break already? Oh, my God.
Because there is a little contest we need to get to.
That's true. Thank you very much. Okay, this is exciting, folks. Oftentimes when we do contests here at Civic Media, Night Lite is kind of left out in the cold. Not on purpose or anything. We don't take it personally. But I sit back here from 6 to 8 and listen to all my fellow Civic Media brethren and sistren giving all these fun details about contests. Well, this is a specific contest to Night Lite. It is our last chance summer getaway. How do you like that? Who's ready to get away? Well, we still have some summer left. It's a text to win giveaway. And it will be all night. I'll be giving the keyword. All you do is text in that keyword. Conrad, correct me if I'm wrong. They text in the keyword, and they're eligible, right?
Text in the keyword. I would do it through the app.
Do it through the app. They have to do it through the app,
yes.
Correct? Okay. So you have to have the app to play and to qualify for a Chula Vista overnight certificate and dining voucher. It's $175 value. That's cold hard cash. That's cash in your pocket. $175 clear, folks. So we are doing this tonight, tomorrow night, and Friday, and I'm about to give. I'll tell you what. I'll give the keyword after the break.
Okay.
Let's do that, and
sure.
then I'll remind people a couple times. All you have to do, folks, text in the keyword on the app, and you are enrolled in the Night Lite Text to Win giveaway. Last chance summer getaway. How fun is that? All right. So we've got that. What else did I want to? We have a call. Can we take a quick call?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do it. Who do we have, Conrad?
Mark from the SAC.
Mark.
Hey, guy, you talked about Wisconsin saying this is kind of a little different slant. But one time, my maternal grandmother now, and this is quite a while ago now, but so she's been passed on for a while. But there was one time she's given directions. She says, "There's a stop sign, but you don't stop there," and that was kind of a family story that that came out. That of course. It was you have to stop and go beyond the stop. But she says, but you don't stop there. And and for some reason she said stop sign. That memory came to mind.
Mark, that is marvelous. We got to go. We're up against the break. Thank you so much for sharing that. Great stuff. All right, we are coming right back, folks. It's Night Light with Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Ashwaubenon to Alloway, this is 97.9 WGBW.
It's the Eco Minute, powered by Clean Wisconsin, your environmental voice since 1970. I'm Amy Barrio. Angry community members in Port Washington after local leaders inked a development deal to build one of the biggest data centers in the country. The project will take up about 1,900 acres and use up enough energy to power almost 3 million homes. Residents have expressed concerns about water use, noise, wildlife harms, and energy use. According to newspaper reports, in early negotiations about the project, energy provider We Energies enticed the developer to build a much bigger data center than was originally planned that more than tripled the energy needs of the project. Meantime, Alliant Energy has lured a data center to Dane County after working on a similar project in Iowa. That data center would take up more than 600 acres in the small farming community of Vienna. It is still going through the local approval process. Right now on The Defender, Wisconsin's environmental podcast, meet the UW economist who's measuring the value of a clean environment. Listen at cleanwisconsin.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.fm and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.fm, bringing you local news and timeless hits while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Welcome back. Todd Michaels, ladies and gentlemen, my pal, will be here at 6:35 talking about really creepy stuff, specifically the Annabelle Doll X tragedy that just happened semi-recently where a paranormal investigator, which is exactly what Todd does, thank you, Conrad, was killed. So it's a terrible story. So we'll talk about that with Todd, as well as disappearing aircraft. I have a couple Wisconsin ghost stories I want to discuss with him. It's always fun to have Todd on the show. And then Matt Miller, Milwaukee film critic, will be here at 7:20. Always great to talk to Matt as well. Right now, folks, it is time for me to give you the keyword in the Nightlight Last Chance Summer Getaway. This is a really cool contest. I was saying before when you were taking that phone call, Mark, how funny was that, by the way?
Hilarious.
When you get to the stop sign, don't stop. What?
Okay, Grandma.
Okay. Love it. But we don't get to do many contests. We kind of we sit by the wayside. But we've got our own contest now, folks. It's very exciting. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, the next 3 nights, Last Chance Summer Getaway here at Nightlight. Tonight's keyword is play. Play. So text that in on the app, and we will enroll you in the chance to win the grand prize, which is a one-night stay at Chula Vista with a certificate and dining voucher. It's a $175 value. So you can't beat that. And we are not eligible, Conrad. That's just the way it's got to be. So, all right, Taylor Swift is getting married. And it's funny. My wife we were watching the Bears-Chiefs preseason game. And my wife was excited because she thought Taylor Swift was going to be there. And I was like, honey, it's preseason. First of all, Taylor doesn't need to be there for a preseason game. She was all bummed out. So then she's looking for Travis Kelce. She knows he's number 87. Like, why is that more exciting watching a guy catch a football? He had like 2 catches and he's great. But like, just because he's getting married to Taylor Swift, that's why you want to watch him catch a football? I don't get that. So, but we had Taylor Swift, as many of you who listen to the show know, is one of my exes. And things ended. They ended amicably, though, Conrad. I'm considerably older than her, and less talented. But we got along swimmingly. She is a great girl. She was nice enough, and we met, actually, after this interview. So I talked to her kind of about, her life and all that kind of stuff. And then sparks flew. We kind of hit it off. But anyway, let's play that clip of my interview with Taylor Swift. Taylor, thanks so much for taking time out today. How have you been?
I'm great, thanks. I'm totally into this game called pickleball.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's like for old people, but I like it.
Oh, that's so great. I've never heard of it, but I'll look for that game. So what else do you have going on these days? I know you have some albums, and you seem like you're becoming really popular. What else do you have going on?
I'm just launching like a YouTube channel right now. It's totally cool. I mean, it'll probably never be as big as MySpace, but it's totally chill.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow, we'll look for that. I've never heard of YouTube. That's so great, Taylor. Now, I hear you're doing a movie. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I am totally going to start acting from now on. I'm so done with singing. I mean, how far can that really take me, right?
I get it. So tell us a little bit about the movie you're doing.
Oh my God, yeah. It's called Valentine's Day, and it's directed by, well, I'm not sure, but he's old. And Julia Roberts is in it, and Jessica Alba, and Jessica Biel. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone in the movie is named Jessica, but it's totally cool. It's so fun because people can watch it every Valentine's Day from now on. It's going to be a big hit. And I totally just did this Hannah Montana movie, too. I think acting's really the way to go.
Huh, okay. Now, you have to kiss a guy in the movie, right? Taylor Lautner, do you have a boyfriend, and is he jealous about stuff like that?
My boyfriend is Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's totally not jealous because he knows I will always love him and we'll be together forever.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool that you're dating an actor.
Yeah, oh my God, he's the best. I totally like actors and the creative type of people. I could never really see myself dating like a big sweaty jock who's like a total bro, you know?
And how did that work out for you, Taylor? She was a sweet kid. I'm happy for those. And you know what? John and Gordy talked about it last night. They scooped me.
Actually, I outscooped them if you think about it because I did a beat on
beats.
it.
Yeah. Take that.
A lot of outscooping on here.
I love that. To me, it's so funny, too, when they talk about Jeff Cesario, John's cousin, who was on Nightlight months and months ago. And then John's like, why don't you get him on? I'll come on. We'll do a family reunion. And I put that out to Cesario. Have not heard a peep. Jeff and I are friends. That's what I get for getting involved in the Peterson family dynamics. All right, so we've got our question of the night. Todd Michaels is coming up in just a few minutes. Our question of the night, folks, is what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? We have our own way of doing things here. As you just heard Mark from the Sack say, his grandma used to say, what did she say? Get to the stop sign and don't stop.
Get to the stop sign, don't stop there.
We've got Bloody Mary chasers. We call it a bubbler. We measure time. We measure distance by time instead of miles. Mine are, we say or no. We sometimes ask questions and make it a statement. You going to the store, Pete? Conrad says we could say a couple, and it could mean 2 or 100. We do use that term loosely, haphazardly. Yeah, exactly. So that's our question of the night, folks. Get in on the fun, and let's see what we have. How are we doing? We have text coming in, Conrad? Do I need to read some texts?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's our text line? I've forgotten everything. I was gone 4 days. You got a lot of texts. Okay. So Jim from Appleton says, a couple is 2. A couple couples are 4 to 10 people. A couple couples are 4 to 10 people. After 10, you move on to a few people. That is good for up to thousands. Thank you, Jim. We needed that to be set straight. From the 414, they say a horse apiece. Yeah. Is that a Wisconsin thing? I didn't realize that.
I mean, we do say that.
Yeah. The pair. Why is there only one? The pair. Why is that a joke? Is that a pun?
I'm not sure.
Tom from New Berlin is trying to put past us. All right. So we will we'll get back into this too. Read more of your texts and everything after we have some fun with our pal Todd Michaels. That is coming up. The keyword is play, folks. Text in the keyword and you're eligible for the grand prize of the Nightlight last of summer getaway. We're coming right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW. Local news, weather, and sports on air and streaming on the Civic Media app. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
From the 97.9 WGBW newsroom, I'm Lisa Hale with this local news update. The Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program is Wisconsin's flagship conservation effort. Established in 1989, the program funds land acquisition and helps expand access to outdoor recreation. Shali Pittman explains.
Knowles Nelson was established in 1989. Since then, the state legislature has reauthorized the program several times, but it's not included in the state's new 2-year budget. Absent legislative action, the program's slated to end 10 months from now, on June 30th, 2026. Republicans and Democrats have separate proposals to continue funding before then. The Republican bill would fund Knowles Nelson until 2030. It requires the DNR to prioritize projects for property development rather than acquisition, and it restricts the acquisition of land in excess of $1 million. The bill's co-authored by Representative Tony Kurtz, who also serves on the legislature's Budget Committee. In one of those budget sessions earlier this summer, Kurtz said he wanted to make sure reauthorization was done right.
We've met with so many different stakeholders, so many different groups, so many fellow legislators on getting this done.
Yesterday, Democratic state lawmakers announced their own Knowles Nelson bill. Here's State Senator Jody Habush-Sinekin, a Democrat.
I fear that the oversight process laid out in their AB 315 is simply unworkable.
The Democratic proposal would give the program $72 million a year. The bill would create an oversight board, which would sign off on projects that cost more than $2.5 million. The Democratic bill is circulating for co-sponsorship. The Republican bill was introduced in June and received a public hearing. I'm Shali Pittman.
News anytime at WGBW.FM. I'm Lisa Hale for 97.9 WGBW News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Conrad Krieger. According to People News, Kenosha native Mark Ruffalo says he ate a lot of Philly cheesesteak sandwiches to prepare for his upcoming role. This just might be the best way to prepare for a role I've ever heard of. I just put a bunch of weight on, Ruffalo said. And no, this wasn't for Hulk. For that, he eats a lot of pesto. Sorry, that one was bad. This was in preparation for his role in the upcoming show Task, in which he stars as an FBI agent leading a task force to end a string of violent robberies. Task is set to premiere on September 7th on HBO Max. The Rock was scared. That sentence may have never been said before this beat. According to Puberty, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said he was scared to make a serious, raw, and gritty film. Of course, I'm talking about his role as UFC legend Mark Kerr in the upcoming biopic, The Smashing Machine. Johnson said he had to dig into parts of himself he'd never explored before. Without Kevin Hart, this might have been his biggest challenge yet. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Connecting audiences, powering brands. This is Civic Media. Learn more at civicmedia.us/advertise.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. A low near 60. Mostly sunny and pleasant for tomorrow, high close to 70. Staying dry and pleasant Friday through Monday, the holiday weekend. Highs in the 70s. Right now it's 73.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Yeah. Oh, where can you go when your money gets low? In the basement, down in the basement. And if a storm is taking place, you can jam and still be safe in the basement.
This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me. Do I seem rusty?
Just a little bit.
Just blowing the dust off the old radio act here, trying to get back in the groove. It is Wednesday night, folks. Our question of the night: what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? We use chasers with our Bloody Mary because they're so spicy, I guess. I don't know why you need chasers with a Bloody Mary, but we do that here in Wisconsin. We say bubbler. My thing was we ask a question that is really more of a statement like, going to the store, Pete? That kind of stuff. Conrad says we use the word couple. That can mean 2 or 100. And in Conrad's case, he means beers. So let us know what your favorite Wisconsin quirk is, and we will read your text on the radio. Right now, I'm really excited. This next gentleman is a friend of mine. Well, I consider him a friend. I don't know what he's got working. He might be one of those people, Conrad, that doesn't have room for new friends. Todd is approaching middle age, and he's already got a ton of friends. He's very locked in here in Wisconsin, but enough tomfoolery. It is my pleasure to welcome to Night Light our old pal, radio legend, and paranormal investigator. He is also works on the podcasts Real Ghost Stories Online and Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi, Mr. Todd Michaels. Hey, buddy, how are you?
It was very nice of you to say that I was getting up to middle age, because I'm certainly already there.
Well, listen, it's a thing.
Over that.
Conrad says a couple beers are like 14, so we're a little we're not really holding anybody accountable.
I knew I liked Conrad for some reason.
It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Pete?
Good. After you left here, Todd, I completely did not put the toilet seat down for a few weeks, and I left a coffee cup out because I knew you couldn't be here to do jack you know what about it, buddy.
That's right. You know what, though? I mean, I felt that, like, in the deep core inner sides of myself. I knew that that's what was going on.
Here's how intuitive Todd is. Like, he's a paranormal investigator. He's very locked in on sensory stuff. I walked in one night to the station here. It was probably a year ago. And he goes, "What's up, man? You okay?" And I totally wasn't. But I never say anything. It's like, I'm an adult. I suck it up and move on, and that's why people have heart attacks. But, I didn't say anything, and Todd could tell something was amiss. And is that's really a quality you have, isn't it?
I would say probably. I can read a room pretty well. And sometimes that's a good thing when you want to know. And then there's also a bad thing when you don't want to know or you don't really care. But yeah, it is true.
Well, in my case, were you saying that out of concern, or were you like, I hope something's wrong with
No, I was worried about you.
All right, good. Because I was close to going on air and you wouldn't be able to find anybody, or just because you have a genuine concern for my well-being?
Oh, I care about you, Pete. I really do.
Right. Appreciate that. Well, it's great to have you here, Todd. Do you have a favorite Wisconsin quirk or something we do here in Wisconsin that you like? We had... I don't know if you're aware of this, Todd, but I noticed in Wisconsin that people say, now when you get to the stop and go lights, go straight. Like they'll tell you to go somewhere and then keep going on that path.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely one of them. And it's, we call them stop and go lights too, which is kind of weird. Isn't it just like
I thought so.
Yeah. I always like the or no. Like it's always we ask a question and then we give you the opportunity to say no to it. It's not like just, "Hey, Conrad, are you doing well?" or no. We always add that to it.
It should be implied.
It should be implied. You're right.
Yeah. It's basically a multiple choice. We make it a multiple choice question. That was one of mine too. So that was great. All right. So Todd, before we jump into the paranormal stuff, you're still producing content. You have this great new gig. Tell us about your Real Ghost Stories Online, please.
Well, we just started doing this. Real Ghost Stories Online was actually started like 11 or 12 years ago by a good friend of mine, Tony Bruschi. He started podcasting when nobody else was podcasting, and so he's been doing it a very long time. It's one of the top ghost story podcasts out there. It was always ranked very well. And we just started doing something new on Monday nights. We go live from 8 until 10 p.m. You can find it on YouTube, search for Real Ghost Stories Online. And we'll be doing them live for 2 hours every Monday night, telling actual ghost stories from actual listeners. People call in, tell their stories. We have audio, we have letters that we read, and we generally mess around for about 2 hours. So that's a good portion of what I'm doing right now.
And that's live. That's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah. And what was the time again, Todd?
8 till 10 Monday nights on Real Ghost Stories Online. Just find it on YouTube. But there is so much content that goes out every day. I can't even tell you, like 20 or 30 different pieces of content that we have that go out. So definitely want to check it out if you're into ghosts. And if you've got a ghost story, you can always call in with yours as well.
I notice you're on 8 to 10. Is that because you knew it would be futile to compete with the juggernaut that is Nightlight?
I just thought, why would I want to compete with my very good friend Pete Schwaba?
You're the best, man. Well, that sounds cool. And you're involved with the true crime podcast as well.
Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. This is new to me. I've never been a real true crime lover, but I dived in headfirst, and it is amazing what goes on in the true crime world. And I'll just tell you that starting on Tuesday of next week, we'll be doing a live program every day from 10 a.m. till noon called Hidden Killers Live. It's with Tony Bruschi, Stacy Cole, and myself. And we will be talking about some of the biggest stories in the country, around the world, and we bring in experts to talk about it. FBI, former FBI agents. We have psychotherapists on to talk about it. And there's been like maybe 5 or 10 stories that we've been really digging into since I took this job. And it blows my mind, some of these stories. It makes you really wonder about how safe you are on a daily basis in your life.
Oh my gosh. So for me, I'm kind of new to the party when it comes to true crime. My daughter got me into it, and I think the first true crime thing I watched was either the OJ one on Netflix or the Night Stalker. That was phenomenal. And I realized my thing with true crime is I love when they go from the police perspective. How did you catch them? What break did you catch? Like, to me, that's fascinating. The ones that are overhyped and play the eerie music and the mind of a killer,
Right.
That kind of stuff. Like, I love the procedure part about it. So would you say you're into true crime now since you've been doing this?
I kind of am. And there's a story that's out there right now. Hulu is doing a documentary on Fox Hollow Farm. And this is a guy, Mr. Baumeister, who lived just outside Indianapolis. And what they found is they found like 20 bodies in his backyard. Ooh. And it's out on Hulu right now. You got to check it out. But the interesting thing about it is not only is it a crazy story of this guy and how he got these people to come home with him and his home life, but also it's kind of turned into the paranormal side now because investigators have gone to Fox Hollow Farm just outside Indianapolis and actually investigated. So that's kind of another angle of that story that's really interesting to me.
Oh, wow. That is cool. When I thought you were like the Baumeister angle. I thought you were going to say they found like a bunch of empty bottles of Rupi. Trying to get to the bottom of this. That's cool. So, all right, let's jump into some paranormal talk, Todd.
Yeah.
So you told me about this story today that I was unaware of, the Annabelle Doll X tragedy. And that must have hit kind of close to home because it was another paranormal investigator around your age. Tell us what happened.
Well, I'll just kind of generalize it, but the Annabelle doll, which has been a big part of the Conjuring series of movies and tied in Ed and Lorraine Warren, they found this doll years ago, and it was just a regular Raggedy Ann doll that they said had paranormal stuff go on with it. They locked it in their museum. Ed and Lorraine Warren had a museum at their house where they kept all these possessed items. And it could be a crucifix, it could be a chair, it could be a piece of clothing. And there was this doll, and they actually had it locked up in a case that had crucifixes on it and prayers and all that kind of stuff. Well, several weeks ago, I don't know whose idea this was, but they decided to take this thing on tour to various Paracons.
What the heck?
And one of the handlers who handled the doll, they had to take it out of the case at the Warren's house, put it in another case to take on display. And the guy died. He was roughly my age, right? Seemed to be in relatively good health. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, is it directly tied in? I don't know. But why would you mess with that? Why would you, if something is purportedly haunted, why would you take it out of a sealed case and then take it on tour to put other people in danger? It just seems really silly to me.
Do you think that's because they didn't believe the curse, or that it was haunted, or they didn't respect that somehow? Or like, what would you do? Would you handle that doll?
No, absolutely not. Okay. I wouldn't. And there's kind of another interesting piece of this. Matt Rife, the comedian, I think you probably know who he is, right?
Yeah, sure.
He just recently bought Ed and Lorraine's house.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So now he is going to, I'm hearing he's going to turn it into like a museum tour. They're going to do ghost hunting there and all this kind of stuff. But there is some weird thing in the contract with the house. I believe he's going to oversee all the haunted items. And it's just like, I don't know if that's something you really want to do. If I were Ed or Lorraine Warren, and for those who don't know who they are, they were into paranormal investigation before the ghost hunters came out with TV shows and all that. They were into it in the 60s and 70s. They were some of the lead investigators on the Amityville Horror, and of course the Conjuring house too.
Wow.
So they were around a long time. But if I were them, and they're both dead, by the way, if I were them, I would come back and haunt the hell out of anybody who took a tour of my house. And the other part of it is a lot of the family is not happy about it because grandchildren are thinking, yeah, this is Grandma and Grandpa's house. And now this comedian, like him or hate him, now owns Grandma and Grandpa's house, and he plans on doing something with it to make a little cash.
Don't you think karma should step in here and say, first of all, this guy's a comedian. You should have a poster of Steve Martin up on your wall with the arrow through his head. Like, not what are you doing buying a haunted house? I just feel like this has a recipe. This will be a movie someday with him. I don't think it'll end well for him, I guess is what I'm saying.
Isn't it always that way, though? Like, movie stars want to be singers. Singers want to be movie stars. And for whatever reason, Matt Rife has always been into the paranormal. I think he's big friends with Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventurers. So they've hung out together a little bit. And I think Zach Bagans is a douche. But other than that, I think it's just something that's always interested him. And now that he's got some money, excuse me, he wants to have a little piece of paranormal history, I guess.
You're right. Comedians want to be singers. Actors want to be this and that. And
what do you want to be, Pete, when you grow up?
I'm getting to that. You set me up beautifully, buddy. Conrad, a C note, please. And I'm just going to do a quick little thing here. No, I think Conrad got nervous. He thought I was actually asking him to play the piano or something. Yeah, that's really strange to me that anyone would do that. And to me, it has horror film written all over it. The Warrens, interestingly enough, the doll supposedly has the soul of not of their 6-year-old, but of a 6-year-old girl that owned the doll that died.
Right. I think her name was Annabelle. I don't know.
All right. Todd Michaels is here. Todd, we got I always run out of stuff, and I have way too much stuff to talk to you about. Do we cover this to the degree?
I think so, yeah.
Here? All right. Let's talk about some disappearing airplanes when we come back, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll do that. Matt Miller's here at 720, talking movies and TV. Right now, our pal Todd Michaels is here. The keyword, folks, is play. Get in on the Nightlight Fun, our end of summer contest. We're coming right back here on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Connecting audiences, powering brands. This is Civic Media. Learn more at civicmedia.us/advertise. Remembering Vietnam, brought to you by The Dispensary.
One day we started heading back to Dak To with some wounded guys in the truck, and the company commander said to stop the convoy. He said, "Where are the bodies?" We had 2 guys killed, and they had been left lying back there. That can't happen. So the captain said, "We need some guys to go back and get them." I'm thinking, I hope it's not me. And sure enough, he says, "Brzezinski, come with me. We're going back to pick up the bodies." And I'm like, "Captain, what do you mean? Can't we take the truck?" He said, "No, because they would just blow it up, and we can't afford to lose that truck." I took my helmet and flak jacket off. I could never run in those things, although I knew one well-placed bullet could kill me, and we started running back to the bodies. Mike Brzezinski, United States Army, Vietnam.
Hear this full story at WGBW.FM. Click on Remembering Vietnam. Brought to you by The Dispensary. Online at thed8dispensary.com.
With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's, now is the time for hope. Keep the momentum going and join us in Green Bay on September 27th for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Join us by registering at alz.org/walk.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Hi, I'm Kristen Ambos, Wisconsin's #1 female loan officer for residential mortgages. Every loan is unique, and I'm committed to your financial well-being. Let's chat today at 920-606-1156 and check out my podcast, Always on Point.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
Nightlight's Last Chance Summer Getaway is in full, I can't even say it's in full throttle because it's only 3 days. So we are in our inaugural night here, folks, and the keyword is play. Text in play, and you are eligible to win a Chula Vista overnight certificate and dining voucher, $175. You can't put a price tag on that, can you, Conrad?
You know, Todd's eligible now.
Todd is eligible.
That's right. Well, dang. Wait, hey, hold on a second.
I really hope you've already texted in, Todd.
I didn't yet, but I'm going to. The password is play. Ding. That was the gig I always wanted. You know that, right?
Alan Ludden?
Well, yeah. Well, Alan Ludden was one of the best, but I always wanted to work on a game show. I wanted to be Johnny Olson or, you know, one of those guys that was the announcer.
Yeah, announcer gig would be cool because those guys made, that's like Vanna White. You know, you have like the least amount to do on the show, but you get paid huge. And just saying, here's Alan Ludden, that guy probably makes $1 million a year, you know?
I don't know if they made that much back in the day, but you'd work on like 4 or 5 game shows, and that's what you do. You go in, you tape 5 game shows of Password, and then you'd go down the hall and tape 5 of something else, and all you had to do is read the script.
And then you go to Tom Bergen's and you drink for free for the rest of your life. It's a pretty sweet. And you've got the voice, dude. You should have been that guy.
I know. I didn't. You know what? I didn't do it. You know what, Pete? Thank you. To hell with this interview. I'm going to go get a gig.
Whoa. You can finish the interview. I don't think 17 minutes is going to affect too much or whatever we have left. Todd Michaels is my guest. You can see Todd's work at Real Ghost Stories Online and Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. You produce these shows, right, Todd? And you're on the air with them as well, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, the Hidden Killers Live is going to be starting on Tuesday right after Labor Day. And we started the Real Ghost Stories Online a couple weeks ago. So that's in full throttle, as I'm going to use that word because you used full throttle. So, yeah, I'm really excited about being a part of it.
I'm kind of scared to watch things like Hidden Killers and that, because you ever watch something like that and go, what if I'm a hidden killer? Not in the Homer Simpson voice, but you just really think maybe there's something in you that hasn't been unleashed yet.
Well, when you listen to psychotherapists, now one of the big stories over the last couple of years was what happened in Moscow, Idaho. And I'm not going to get deep into it because I don't know a lot about it, but Brian Kohberger killed 4 students in Idaho. And we're just finding out a little bit more about Brian Kohberger now. And it's kind of crazy because when you listen to psychotherapists talk about some of these people, he studied like other people. I mean, it's crazy when you think about the Dahmers and they all have a little bit of linkage there. There's always something really, really in common. And I will just say this, if you like true crime a little bit, you can go online and get updated on so many different weird people out there and some of the stuff that went down. It's really crazy.
What is the thing that links that? I mean, I know they have similarities. And they always look for, like, did they harm animals when they were younger, that kind of stuff. But what do you know what the similarity is, or are you just speaking generally?
I think just speaking generally, a lot of them are broken in some way, shape, or form. A lot of them had issues in their family, dominating mothers. I mean, think of Psycho, right? I mean, we're not far off from that being kind of reality. So when you look at the family dynamic of some of these people, we're covering Donna Adelson. She had, she's on trial right now, and they're trying to figure out if she masterminded and paid for her son-in-law getting killed in Florida back in like 2014, I don't know how long ago it was. At any rate, it is absolutely crazy, how that family dynamic worked. She was the matriarch of the family, and, kids wouldn't even go to the bathroom and take a crap without asking mommy if it was okay. And even in adulthood, they didn't do anything in life without approval from mom. So you see this kind of similarly in so many stories when it comes to true crime stuff.
That's insane. I've been asking for permission to go to the bathroom my whole life. I've never killed anybody. Right? I mean, that's a different gene.
Who are you asking?
Just random strangers.
Yeah, that's different. That's a whole different problem.
I go over to Hagermeister Park and ask for permission. Or do I have to buy something? Todd, let's get to this. This is pretty cool. I always say that, and it's terrible. It's not pretty cool. It's a plane crash or a disappearance. But Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, it's been called the biggest mystery in aviation history as to what happened with that flight. How do airplanes disappear? Have you ever investigated anything like that or know people who have?
I mean, I know some people that are into studying it and reading about it and all that. And it is amazing to me when you look at the number of flights that go down and are never found. They're just never found. They may, if they're lucky, find wreckage somehow in the ocean or something like that, but they never actually find where the plane went down. Bodies are never found, all that kind of stuff. And it's not like one or two. If you look through history, there's a lot, which also makes me scared about getting in a plane.
Listen, I've gotten more scared about getting on a plane, especially after all those incidents earlier in the year. But I mean, I've never liked flying, but it was just kind of a necessary thing. But I don't understand how a plane, like, they can track it. It took off 38 minutes later. It went, dark.
Right.
So if you draw an arrow in 38 minutes or whatever, now I'm doing the Wisconsin thing where we measure distance by time, but how it baffles me that with all the technology we have, that we can't pinpoint or find, like you say, wreckage.
It almost makes you wonder if something wasn't planned and something's not being hidden.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've never been that kind of guy, but it is kind of strange when they can't find anything or have absolutely no answers, to the point where it's like, well, it might have just disappeared or is in a different stratosphere or universe right now or something. Can we keep you for a few more minutes after the news, Todd? Okay. Yeah. Todd Michaels is here, radio legend, as I like to call him, approaching middle age. Matt Miller's here at 7:20, and I'm going to give you the keyword, folks, after intermission here when we start Act 2. That's all coming up next on Night Light with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Here I start, and it breaks my heart. Only did I fall. I wanna cry, cry, cry.
If it happens in Wisconsin, filter
Local news and timeless hits. WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. A deadly shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis just as the school year gets underway. A heavily armed shooter firing through the church's stained glass windows as the children attended Mass. 2 young children killed, 17 students and adults wounded. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara.
The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history.
The FBI is calling it a potential act of terrorism and a hate crime. President Trump issued a proclamation honoring the victims and ordered the White House flag to half-staff. She was confirmed for the post by the Senate just last month. Now sources say CDC Director Susan Monarez, along with 3 other top CDC officials, are being ousted. Denmark claiming that agents linked to President Trump are using covert operations to encourage Greenland to secede and join the U.S. This is ABC News.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
From the 97.9 WGBW Newsroom, I'm Lisa Hale with this local news update. The 45-year-old Appleton man who faked his own death by capsizing a kayak on Big Green Lake last year will spend nearly 90 days in the Green Lake County Jail. Civic Media's Bob Nelson has the story.
Ryan Borgwart was sentenced yesterday after pleading no contest to a charge of obstructing an officer. Green Lake County Judge Mark Slate felt the former Watertown man should spend 89 days in jail, the same amount of time he maintained the hoax that he was dead. Last week, Borgwart paid $30,000 in restitution to the Green Lake County Sheriff's Office and DNR for costs associated with searching the lake for 58 days. Borgwart moved to the country of Georgia after faking his death to be with a woman that he met online. He got a job and a small apartment. The Green Lake County Sheriff's Office, in a series of emails last November, convinced him to move back to the U.S., and he did last December and was taken into custody. District Attorney Jerisla Spisa says Borgwart's entire plan hinged on selling the idea that he had died in the lake. She says he didn't count on the dogged determination of local investigators. For Civic Media News, I'm Bob Nelson.
Governor Tony Evers has announced over $18.6 million to support community improvement projects in 21 communities, including $1 million for facilities upgrades at Zipple Park in Oconto County. The funding comes from a federal infrastructure program that President Trump plans to cut as part of his proposed fiscal year 26 budget. News on demand anytime at WGBW.FM. I'm Lisa Hale for 97.9 WGBW News.
A close call for the Crew. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers and Diamondbacks take to the field again tonight in Milwaukee. Last night, the Crew blew a 6-0 lead. It took a sac fly from the Brewers' Isaac Collins in the bottom of the ninth to win 9-8 over the D-backs. Right-hander Shelby Miller was traded by Arizona to Milwaukee and was given the win after shutting down the Diamondbacks in the final innings. So what was it like facing your old team?
It was weird. I'd never been traded during the season, so, to see familiar faces that, were on your side, a month ago, it's a little different.
NFL, the Packers adding 16 players to their practice squad today. That after reducing the roster to 53 yesterday. College football, Wisconsin hosts Miami of Ohio, 8 o'clock tomorrow night in their season opener. The Badgers finished just 5-7 last season.
We got a chip on our shoulder because, nobody's talking about us. No one cares about us. But this is where we go show the world what we are, who we are now, and what we can do.
That's the Badgers center, Jake Renfro, with sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
Come work with us. Civic Media has a number of great jobs across the state. Open now at civicmedia.us/careers.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. A low near 60. Mostly sunny and pleasant for tomorrow, high close to 70. Staying dry and pleasant Friday through Monday, the holiday weekend. Highs in the 70s. Right now it's 73.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, Jim Santel stops by to break down all the things happening in the world of law. Brittany Merlot gives us weather and wine, and we talk sports with Paul Noonan. Join us.
Matnair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off. You've got this. Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who believes a penny saved isn't jack Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Night Light, folks. Very exciting. We hear that intro, and the man who happens to have voiced that amazing intro is with us, Todd Michaels. We will get back to Todd in just a minute. Right now, I just want to say welcome to Act 2. We have a great show here tonight. I had a few days off, Conrad. I think it's going well. What do you think?
You're doing the best you can.
Okay.
Wow.
Remind me next time John and Gordy fill in to just rip into you so hard you can't even, and it's a stupid hat, by the way. All right, so we have Todd Michaels on the phone. Matt Miller will be here in just a little bit. I'm going to ask Matt where he saw Highest to Lowest, because I looked for that movie. It supposedly was in wide release, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I can't wait to talk to Matt about weapons. We'll get to that in just a bit. Folks, if you're not playing, you should be. This is the Last Chance Summer Getaway. It's you know what it is, Conrad? It's a contest exclusive to Nightlight, because we get left out of all the other contests. They said, Pete, we want to make you happy. They didn't say that. So it's the Nightlight Last Chance Summer Getaway, and it's the grand prize is one night at Chula Vista. You get an overnight certificate and a dining voucher. The food is outstanding. It's a $175 value, and all you have to do is text in the keyword, and you are eligible. It's that simple, folks. It happens tonight, tomorrow night, and Friday. So if you've got the app open, text in the keyword now, which is PLAY, P-L-A-Y. And I kind of hope Todd wins, but I kind of hope he doesn't, because I don't want to be in the middle of any kind of weirdness here.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't happen.
We've got our question of the night, folks, is Bloody Mary chasers, measuring distance and time instead of miles. What's your favorite Wisconsin quirk? Let us know. We will catch up on texts in just a few minutes. But right now, let's get back to our pal Todd Michaels, who is that's a great background, by the way, Todd. What is that? Like a green screen, or did you actually do some
No, I did some improvements here. I got a couple of screens behind me and all that. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot on your social media, people doing weird stuff by your window over there. What's going on with that?
I don't know. It's just something they're drawn to. You're the guy that we should be asking about this, because for whatever reason, people are drawn to that window. It could be something strange happening.
Yeah, it's just like random people, right? Wasn't Conrad out there one night in like some weird shorts or something? He was. Those are really weird shorts. I believe that. Ones. I believe that. But as somebody who cares about you deeply, Conrad, let me just tell you, get rid of them.
Somehow Conrad found a pair of flood shorts. I don't even know how that's possible. They should go a little lower, though, past the knee, Conrad. That's all I'll say.
And just add to that, please. Okay, please get them a little bit lower if you could.
Todd, if you want to be in the window picture, just let me know and I'll set it up.
Listen, I might just show up one night and I'll be up there. I'll be doing this.
Todd Michaels is my guest, folks. You could see his work or hear his work. He produces and is part of a couple podcasts called Real Ghost Stories Online and Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. He is what I like to call a radio legend and a paranormal investigator, and he is with us here for a few more minutes. Todd, what do you make of the Bermuda Triangle? Do you think there's anything there? There's been an inordinate amount of disappearances there, crashes there. It's just the weather, right? I mean, you're a paranormal investigator, but you're also kind of a skeptic, and you really investigate these things.
I think it probably has something more to do with the weather and the wind currents and all that kind of stuff in that particular location. The fact of the matter is that, as you mentioned, there have been a ton of wrecks. There have been a ton of missing planes, ships, all that kind of stuff in that area. So it's got to be more than just the weather, right? It's got to be some sort of something to do with the geography as well, that would somehow hide the evidence of these wrecks, of missing ships, missing planes, and missing people and all that kind of stuff. Weather probably plays into it, but it can't be the only thing.
You know, and could there be, like, let's say in people's subconscious, once a few planes go down or ships are lost or whatever, does it get in a pilot or captain's mind, oh boy, it's the Bermuda Triangle, and they almost psych themselves out somehow? Is that a thing?
Well, I mean, you can tie that into paranormal stuff too, right? If you have kind of a spooky thing happen, does that mean that all of a sudden every bump in the middle of the night, you go, oh my gosh, it's a ghost? Very similar. And I also think that, as to your point, if you're flying there, if you're captain of a ship in that area, and maybe you do run into turbulence or rough waters or whatever, maybe it plays with your psyche enough that maybe you don't make the best decisions that you should make in that situation.
You
panic, exactly. And you do things that you normally wouldn't do, and that just ends up in tragedy.
Conrad and I had planned a snorkeling trip in the Bermuda Triangle, and I think he's got cold feet. I don't know. It's your call, Con.
I think I'm not going to do it.
I'll swear to God, I'll give you each a $50 bill if I get a picture of both of you in snorkeling gear.
And Conrad in the short shorts.
Sure. then only 25 for Conrad if he puts the short shorts on.
Todd, all right, in all your investigating, tell me something that literally scared the bejesus out of you. Was there something that you couldn't explain or that really creeped you out?
It goes back to a video I was actually watching, and I've done so many investigations, I've actually forgot a lot of this stuff that happened. But the other night, I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about the TV show that I was a part of at one point, which was A Haunted State, and we went around to locations in Wisconsin. The weirdest thing, and I've seen shadows, I've seen shadow figures, I've heard voices, all things that should not be happening that did. But the one thing that really just always blew me away was at Nelson's Hall on Washington Island. And we were doing a Ghost Box session. Ghost Box is basically a radio that just keeps shuffling through all the frequencies. And people believe that you can communicate using that type of equipment with ghosts. And we were using it, and we were recording a spirit box session or a ghost box session. There were 3 of us in a little group. There was a camera guy filming it as well. But in this group, we're standing in a circle. We've got the spirit box and the recorder in front of us. And we had it down toward our like waist level, but right in front of our faces, like right between us, we heard a growl, like an audible growl. And we heard it the first time. And the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, maybe we didn't eat enough and our stomach's growling. But
stomach, yeah.
Exactly. But it wasn't in that location. We've all heard stomach growls, and it wasn't like that. And we all immediately went, oh my gosh, that was a growl. It didn't come out of the spirit box. It was literally in the air in front of us. And we kind of blew it off. And immediately after that, it happened again, but even louder.
Whoa.
And the thing about that trip was that we left that investigation on Washington Island, and all of us on the team, there were 4 of us, all of us had weird experiences after. So it was almost like something followed us back from Washington Island. And for a long time, I was kind of afraid of going back to Washington Island because it was kind of severe for me, but ended up going back and things were fine. But that was probably the thing that went, holy crap, I've never had anything like this happen before.
That's why I don't think I would ever want to do what you do, because I would be worried that, I'm a skeptic. It's like the George Costanza thing. I thought you don't believe in God. I do for the bad things.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'd be worried I'd pick up a tail or something. Like you've said that in the past on this show. Like they follow you home, these spirits or whatever they are. You know?
They can, right? That's certainly something that can happen. I think the thing that's interesting about it is that, and I'm learning more about it as I'm working in the true crime world as well. I think humans are scarier than ghosts for the most part. So that I always keep that in the back of my mind.
My guest is Todd Michaels. We have Todd for one more question, I guess. But
All
check
right.
out his work at Real Ghost Stories Online and Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi.
Can I use the time to tell a quick story about my new boss?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Tony Bruschi, I actually hired in radio back in like 1998, 96, 98, something like that. He was 14 years old and he wanted to get into radio really bad. So he showed up at the radio station on his bike. Okay. And I remember he was with his mom and she's like, oh, you know, Tony's just very interested in this. Could you help Tony out? So I kind of took him under my wing and got him into radio, and he's been doing it ever since. And now the guy makes tons of cash.
Wow.
And so I guess he just felt bad for me and gave me a gig. But thank God for, you know.
That's just crazy that you work for him now.
It is. And every once, you know, we'll do our shows and stuff, and then he'll have a quick conversation about something. He goes, you remember the time that, and it's always something that I wouldn't have remembered, except he brought it up. And then it's like, oh my God, yes, I do remember that. So
wow, because he was so impressionable, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And now he's a star, and it's because of me. I mean, let's be honest.
We've got a text from Jim from Appleton. He says, for Todd, I just read an article in the Smithsonian Magazine. The hypothesis, because of the islands and reefs, it creates a lot of rogue, I think he means, rogue waves to help explain the shipwrecks. Yeah, it's weird with Door County. It's such a beautiful place, but there are so many haunted stories. But I still don't think about that when I go there. I'm just captivated by the beauty of the place.
I think you're better off not thinking about it. Enjoy what it is, right? But I
Yeah.
think Door County probably does have a lot of paranormal stuff there, and a lot of it has to do with the shipping.
Todd from Madison, he's in the 608, says, Todd, please visit Freeport, Illinois, a swath of haunted homes that were built on top of moved Civil War soldiers' grave sites. It's a really creepy reality for several homeowners in the 600, 700, and 800 blocks of Lincoln Boulevard, exactly across the street from Freeport City's cemetery, where bodies are now in a mass grave and many individual marked graves. You ever done something like that, a mass grave, Todd?
Well, I have not, but I will tell you this. If you look up the history of any city or town, even Oshkosh, which is where I'm at,
yeah,
tons of stories of how, as they were building the city, they wanted to put this up. And I actually think UW Oshkosh, there are buildings there that were built on top of graves, cemeteries, and they didn't move all the bodies. So it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
And so when people say, well, we've got a brand new house, but there seems to be something going on. Well, it's not. Sometimes it doesn't happen in the house. Sometimes the land, it just holds energy.
The dirt under the house, not so much. Annie from Watertown says, if not for black boxes, there would be a lot more mysteries, or no. There are often cases. Well done.
She's
Annie.
right.
There are often cases of no reason, or they never radioed after that, and until they use the info, cockpit talk, the data of all systems, etc., and figure it out. Great text. Thank you, Annie. Todd, this has been fun. Thank you, buddy, as always.
Thanks for inviting me back.
Anytime. I'm going to go mess up the kitchen right now and not clean it in your honor, so there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Appreciate it.
We'll talk soon, buddy.
See ya.
All right, Todd Michaels, ladies and gentlemen. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? AJ from the 608 says, hey, P and K. That's Pete and Conrad. Bloody Marys need no chaser, and you can have them anytime, not just for breakfast or brunch. People have given me crap for that. For dinner, always drive in time, not miles. And Wisconsin is quirky for the accent. Didn't know I had one until I traveled outside of the Midwest. Well done, AJ. Those are great points. Yeah, we didn't touch on the accent.
Well, we don't realize we have one.
We don't have one. No.
No.
Matt Rothschild from the 608. Our pal Matt says, quirk, letting kids drink in bars with their parents. Oh, my God.
I did that a couple times.
I know you did. Your own parents got you hammered. That is definitely a quirk. Thank you, Matt. We're coming right back with our pal Matt Miller, Milwaukee film critic on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.fm and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.fm, bringing you local news and timeless hits while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Wisconsin. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org.
We are barreling through a Wednesday night. This is, it's weird. Even when you take a few days off, like when you just like talking about show business and movies and TV, it's kind of like you're still on vacation. So we're having fun here tonight at Night Light. John Murray apologized to you, Conrad, he's in the 608 Madison guy, regular texter. Hey, Conrad, I sincerely apologize for calling you Corey like 42 times. When did that? Would you guys pal around or something? What's happening there?
That's all right. Just make sure you get it right this time with a K.
Yeah,
we'll be fine going forward.
He says, "My bad. Love you and Pete, and really enjoy your show." Thank you, John. And Christine from Slinger in the 414 says, "Anna Hay, is that a Wisconsin quirk thing?"
Maybe it's a texter trying to communicate with another texter.
Anna Hay, but she's got the question mark. That's why I thought it was my thing, like going to the store, Pete. I thought of another quirk, and it's I suppose. People say that all the time.
I suppose.
Well, and it's when they're leaving. Well, I suppose. It's like they don't say they're leaving. That's become, and it obviously derives from, well, I suppose I'm going to go or something like that. Now it's just I suppose. Great Wisconsin
You
quirk.
bringing that up, it reminds me of a video that Charlie Barons did. And it was just them going into a bar, saying like 4 words, and then all of them at the same time. Well, I suppose.
Oh, seriously?
It was George Kittle and his friend, too, and it was hilarious.
You can't. Charlie Barons has talked about everything. You can't talk about anything anymore. He's already covered it. Hey, this is exciting, folks. One of our favorites is waiting patiently on the stream here. We talk with this next gentleman from time to time about movies. He is a fine film critic from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our state's largest city, Conrad. And he joins us now here on the stream, as he often does. Mr. Matt Miller. Hey, buddy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. You were on vacation, I understand.
I was in the fine city of Quebec City, the Great North, French edition.
Yeah, wow. I've been to Montreal. I've never been to Quebec.
I highly recommend Quebec City. I truly loved it there. We were mostly palling around in old Quebec, just Europe in the North America. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous. Ate my body weight in cheese curds and French fries and gravy, and it was outstanding.
How do the cheese curds compare to here in the Dairy State?
Ooh, tough. I mean, the thing is, I had the cheese curds as a part of poutine. So cover it with gravy and French fries. That's gonna win. So,
Sure.
But no, it was a great time. Got some Quebec Nordique skier. So it was a really nice time.
Wow, that's great. Well, it's good to have you back in the state that you call home, that you review movies in, and we've got a lot to get to. So let's jump in. I want to ask you. Let's start with weapons, Matt.
Yeah.
I saw it and I liked it. I to be honest, I liked Barbarian better. But I thought Weapons was really cool, very creepy. What did you think?
Yeah, I really like Weapons too. I think as just a scary movie, it's very it is one of the few horror movies, mainstream horror movies, that really kind of got under my skin, and I lost some sleep about it because there's just I love the urban legend campfire tale vibe of that movie. It really has a kind of haunted, town legend vibe to it that just really creeps me out. I will agree with you a little bit on the Barbarian thing because I think Weapons is a better movie, but I think Barbarian is better at being about something. I think Barbarian is a movie about, brutality under the surface of, polite exteriors and about, bad men and nice exteriors. And Weapons is this movie that you would think it's so loaded where, you have this very, a teacher being accused of messing with her students and, disappearing students, a classroom of kids, very school shooting, kind of imagery it's playing with. And it's playing with all these ideas and themes. And then the movie is kind of nah, we're not really about any of that. We're not really a movie about anything. We're a movie about freaking you out. And as a movie that's about freaking you out, as being a thrill ride, I think Weapons is very good, very well done. But I think if you're looking for a movie about stuff, I think Barbarian is the better of the two Zach Kreger movies. That's the director.
It's interesting because people are flipping out over Weapons, and it's good. And I don't mean to say I didn't like it, but it is one of those, I kind of had to piece it together at the end. Oh yeah, they did the voodoo thing earlier, and then that's what she was doing, you kind of have to think about it. Whereas Barbarian is just a more straight up story, I guess, where you're oh my gosh,
A little bit. Barbarian, the thing that Zach Kreger's two movies definitely have in common is that they are very zigzaggy in terms of how they approach telling a story. They'll start in one direction and then they will immediately jarringly go in a new direction, and then they'll go in another new direction. And Kreger talks about how when he's writing the movie script, he started in sketch comedy with The Whitest Kids You Know. And he's kind of like a Jordan Peele in that way, where he made this massive leap to mainstream horror. And he talks about how when he's writing a script, he always wants to be trying to do something that he's not expecting. When he's always trying to do something unpredictable, which is a tricky, ask M. Night Shyamalan how that works out, That's a tricky kind of game to play. And I think it also results in a movie like Weapons that is a great thrill ride, a great horror fun time. But if you're looking for a kind of coherent theme, a coherent story to it, it's not quite as rewarding as you want it to be. But as a movie that will shake you up and will have you jump and creep you out, thumbs up, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely. And it keeps you guessing, what is happening? It started Josh Brolin making that line from the moon to the house, and I'm oh, they're going to figure it out. Nope, they're going this way.
Yeah, anytime the door opened to that house and in that way where it was clearly no one was opening the door, and the door behind it is just pitch black darkness, I'm just perfectly eerie. I know Lynchian gets thrown around a lot, and this is by no means a David Lynch movie, but it does have that kind of suburban, creepy, urban legend feel to it.
Absolutely. All right, Matt Miller is here, folks, Milwaukee film critic. We're going to get into more movie talk with Matt after the news, and we'll give you the key word again in our big last chance summer getaway here at Nightlight. It's Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Ashwaubenon to Alloway, this is 97.9 WGBW. Join the family. Civic Media has a number of great jobs across the state open now at civicmedia.us/careers.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. A deadly shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis just as the school year gets underway. A heavily armed shooter firing through the church's stained glass windows as the children attended Mass. 2 young children killed, 17 students and adults wounded. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara.
The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history.
The FBI is calling it a potential act of terrorism and a hate crime. President Trump issued a proclamation honoring the victims and ordered the White House flag to half-staff. She was confirmed for the post by the Senate just last month. Now sources say CDC Director Susan Maneres, along with 3 other top CDC officials, are being ousted. Denmark claiming that agents linked to President Trump are using covert operations to encourage Greenland to secede and join the U.S. This is ABC News.
A close call for the Crew. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers and Diamondbacks take to the field again tonight in Milwaukee. Last night, the Crew blew a 6-0 lead. It took a sac fly from the Brewers' Isaac Collins in the bottom of the 9th to win 9-8 over the D-backs. Right-hander Shelby Miller was traded by Arizona to Milwaukee and was given the win after shutting down the Diamondbacks in the final innings. So what was it like facing your old team?
It was weird. I'd never been traded during the season, so, to see familiar faces that, were on your side, a month ago, it's a little different.
NFL, the Packers adding 16 players to their practice squad today. That after reducing the roster to 53 yesterday. College football, Wisconsin hosts Miami of Ohio, 8 o'clock tomorrow night in their season opener. The Badgers finished just 5-7 last season.
We got a chip on our shoulder because, nobody's talking about us. No one cares about us. But this is where we go show the world what we are, who we are now, and what we can do.
That's the Badgers center, Jake Renfro, with sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Conrad Krieger. Well, I recently went to the theaters and saw a couple movies to look forward to. Seniors, a film about a 59-year-old, Mike Flint, who after nearly 4 decades returns to his alma mater to take the hit that changed everything. Bruised, doubted, and nearly broken, he pushes for one more game. Not for glory, but for his teammates he lost, the family he fractured, and the ending he still believes is possible. This upcoming football movie is set to release September 19th. A24's upcoming film, Marty Supreme, is based on Marty Reisman, Timothy Chalamet, who pursues his dream of becoming a champion table tennis player. And check out the trailer on YouTube. It looks awesome. This film is set to release on Christmas Day of this year. Lots of other releases feature Black Phone 2, Tron Ares, The Running Man featuring Glenn Powell, and Avatar Ash and Fire. Lots of movies to look forward to for the end of 2025. For more showbiz fun, tune into Night Lite with Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Rebuilding and refreshing local radio one station at a time. This Civic Media radio station is proud to be a part of your community. Learn more at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. A low near 60. Mostly sunny and pleasant for tomorrow, high close to 70. Staying dry and pleasant Friday through Monday, the holiday weekend. Highs in the 70s. Right now it's 73.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
Jane Matnair.
with me on this Wednesday, coming to you from beautiful downtown Green Bay on a gorgeous summer night. Hopefully we'll have a few more of these. Paula, Conrad's mom, chiming in, says old fashions are better in Wisconsin. I don't think that's I don't know if anybody would dispute that.
Yeah.
Certainly not anybody in Wisconsin. Matt Miller is with us, folks. We'll have a few more minutes with Matt here tomorrow night on the show. WGBW morning personality and radio legend. Do I throw that word around too much?
Maybe, but he is a legend.
He's been around a long time. He'll be here tomorrow to do the popcorn pick. Matt, have you ever done the popcorn pick of the week?
I don't believe I have. I don't believe I've had the honor.
Okay. Conrad, take a memo. That's ridiculous. I can't believe Matt has never done that. We'll do that in the coming weeks. And then Emerson Lehman, WBAY morning anchor, will join us tomorrow in studio. Dan will be here in studio too. Emerson is going to tell us all about the Milwaukee Mile. So he's a big racing fan. We'll talk to Emerson tomorrow. He's always fun to have on the program as well. Right now, Matt, so, all right, we talked about weapons. And just to put a button on that run those kids do with their arms out like that, how creepy is
the Naruto run?
Thing. Yeah.
I mean, people were trying to be like, this movie has made over $100 million. It's the lone hit of this late summer. And, Hollywood's trying to figure out, what was it? But it was like, they had a great hook. They had a great hook and a great image to sell this movie on of like kids running into the night and kids disappear. It is a great hook. Sometimes a good premise is enough.
Absolutely. Did you like Freakier Friday? I haven't seen it.
I was fine with Freakier Friday. It's not as good as the first one. I actually rewatched the original Disney movie, and it's great. It's still really tremendous. The Freakier Friday is still really, it's a nice time. I like Jamie Lee Curtis. I like seeing Lindsay Lohan back on the screen again. She is a good actress, putting aside all of the, tabloid who's a what. There's a bunch of really good performers in it. You can kind of tell that it was supposed to be originally a Disney Plus movie. It was supposed to be a streaming movie. And the Disney was like, what if we made money off of this? And go figure, it's worked out well for them. It just has that kind of soft focus look, that kind of cheap look that, it feels Hallmarky. But the performers are good. And when all things said and done, I want to laugh, and I laughed enough. So I enjoyed Freakier Friday.
All right, good to know. And here's one I want to get to, highest to lowest. It said I do a thing every week where I talk about the movies that are coming out, Matt, and that was one a couple weeks ago. It came out with Nobody 2. I was excited to see them both. Highest to lowest, I think you had to go to Milwaukee was the closest place near me. I don't understand what is going on. It's Spike Lee. It's a 2-time Oscar winner in the lead role based on a really cool Japanese film. And it got great reviews. I don't know what they were doing, but did you like that film? Highest to lowest?
Spike Lee covering Akira Kurosawa with Denzel Washington should not be a hard sell. Unfortunately, A24 and Apple kind of dropped the ball on this movie. I don't know if it's because the early festival reviews were kind of, as festival reviews can be, if it's not incredible right off the bat, sometimes festivals are, a little easy to kind of, check things off. I don't know if it's the fact that it's two studios kind of handling this movie. They kind of, it was none of their exclusive baby. So, it kind of got half efforts. Whatever the case is, they bungled it. This should have been, a movie that made some money for these guys. I don't love this movie. I love Da Five Bloods. Spike Lee is a great filmmaker. Black Klansman, Do the Right Thing, Bamboozled, incredible filmmaker. The first half of Highest to Lowest is pretty not good. It's really, and a lot of people will argue that it's him purposefully making a stiff movie to kind of show that he's, at the back end that it becomes more lively. But it's just kind of hard to be like, half this movie is very stiff and kind of boringly made. You have to wait an hour for it to get good. That's not a great sell for a movie.
No.
Yeah, it's not as tight as... And also, when you're remaking High and Low, which is a perfectly directed movie, I saw that for the first time before this new one came out, and it's incredible. That movie's blocking. It is a perfectly directed film. And to be like, I'm going to remake this movie, half of it is going to be as apathetically directed as possible is such a strange choice. when it cooks, it cooks. Like there's a bunch of really incredible scenes near the end of that movie where you see Spike Lee kind of wrestling with culture and wrestling with his place in it. That stuff is absolutely tremendous. And obviously you have Denzel Washington acting out in those scenes, and Denzel, don't know if you heard, great actor. But, not to be cliche, but, it's a movie of real highs and lows. It really is exactly that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm going to keep, I want to see it. I'm going to see it either way.
You should see it.
And the
When
reviews
Spike
are great.
Lee makes a movie, he is one of those directors, when he shows up with a movie on a big screen, see it, because it will at least be interesting. It will at least give you something to chew on afterwards. It's the same thing with Paul Thomas Anderson and Darren Aronofsky, all directors who have movies coming out within the next month. So while Hollywood is like, oh no, there's nothing, that we have no blockbusters in theater. If you're a film fan, it's a feast out there right now.
Yeah.
PTA, Aronofsky, a Coen brother movie. Like there's a lot of really good stuff out there.
I still never seen She's Gotta Have It. Spike Lee's first, the film that kind of put him on the map. Do the Right Thing was the first film I saw of his, but I don't know if you've even seen it or haven't seen it in years, but does that hold up? She's Gotta Have It, and would you recommend that?
It's a little bit like Nolan's Following. It's nothing like that in terms of plot or anything, but you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, this guy he's going to be something. You can see the blueprint of the future. If you want to watch it for that, it's not one of my favorite Spike Lees, that's for sure. But I do think it's interesting to watch, just like, man, he's going to take off. Or like you can see the talent just bursting off of that movie.
It's hard to watch stuff like that sometimes when you got to transport yourself back and say, okay, I don't know this director. I've never seen him before. This is his first movie. It was the mid 80s, I guess.
Well, the stuff that was special, the stuff like the signature Spike Lee dolly shots, or, the Christopher Nolan playing with time stuff, we're so used to it. They're cliche now, when you have to go back to jump to watching Memento or Following or something like She's Gotta Have It. And it's like, oh no, this felt really new and special at the time.
All right, my guest is Matt Miller. He's a Milwaukee film critic. You can follow Matt. You're not on Twitter anymore. You're on Blue Sky, right?
I am still on Twitter, but I am also on Blue Sky. Same place, A Man About Film. So you can find me in both of those places.
Give them a follow. All right, now Nobody 2. I was like most people. My son and I watched the first one. I think it was just a Netflix film, and I met Bob Odenkirk several times back in the day. He's one of my favorite guys, just the nicest guy you'd ever meet. I said, let's give this a chance. It was great. I was blown away. I was not expecting what I saw, and my son went to see Nobody 2. I was excited to see it, and he didn't like it, and I was like, wow, because the reviews were pretty good, and he's kind of jaded for a 24-year-old, but I don't know. Are his feelings justified, Matt? Did you like it?
I want to like both the Nobody movies more than I do. I had a decent time with Nobody 2. It's a different tone, I would say. It's a little bit more cartoony. It's a little bit more goofy. It kind of takes place in the Wisconsin Dells. Like it doesn't say it takes place in the Wisconsin Dells, but it's clearly a Wisconsin locale. One of the producers, I think David Leitch, is originally a Wisconsin native. So I think he worked that into Nobody 2 on some level. I want the Nobody 2 and the Nobody movies in general to be either dumber or smarter. They kind of fall into that awkward place of, do you want to make an action movie about like, this like aging sad masculinity and like these men who don't know what to do with themselves? Do you want to make a movie about that? Or do you want to make a silly movie where a guy, murders a bunch of people in a water park while Sharon Stone cackles in the background like a maniac? I'm fine with both of those movies, but they kind of awkwardly coexist in both of these movies. I had a little bit more fun with Nobody 2. I think the action is a little bit more vibrant, is a little bit more playful. They got a new director for Nobody 2, Timo. I'm massacring his name. Timo Timohara, I think his name is. Very good action director. He's doing a lot of fun, brutal stuff in this movie. But yeah, I wanted to have either more fun or get more from the movie. And so, you know what? It's a late August movie. It's a late August action movie. It totally satisfies your desires for that.
Okay, very well said. I am still going to see it, and I'm going to track down Highest to Lowest, although I guess we can stream that on September 5th. We gave, at home, we had a little family staycation last week, and my daughter had never seen Collateral, and she loves Tom Cruise, so we gave that another watch. Almost a perfect movie to me. It's just no fat in that film.
I do really. That might be my favorite Michael Mann movie. I love the nocturnal imagery of it. I love the kind of nighttime vision. I think it's an excellent use of both Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise, weaponizing Tom Cruise's insane intensity, weaponizing Jamie Foxx's, kind of charisma and his ability to kind of like morph into whatever he needs to. I think that movie is tremendous. Mark Ruffalo looking like the sleaziest cop you've ever seen in your life, just the greasiest looking mustache dude of all time. He's really great in that. Yeah, Collateral is just a really tremendous movie.
And when they introduce Mark Ruffalo's character, he's like in a Trans Am. He's got his hair slicked back, and it's this music like.
Is it a handlebar mustache too? It's
it's a goatee.
It's a goatee. Big ol', he looks great. He's
awesome.
Right there.
It's a great movie, and the music is great, and I agree with you. It's Michael Mann at his best.
It's him before he went fully digital, and like his later digital movies look so smeary. And I know some people love them, but like some people love the look of Public Enemies and Miami Vice. I would much rather Collateral. I think Collateral is a much better kind of visual look.
I agree, 100%. We've got. You said we could do a movies past and present. Like what's coming up? What excites you, Matt? Let's between now and this weekend, I guess, is Labor Day's already here. But what else can we look forward to at the theater?
Well, like I said, Hollywood is like, oh no, the box office is bad, and I'm looking at these upcoming weeks, and I'm like, look at all these interesting original movies coming out. So this weekend,
agree.
Yeah, so this weekend you've got a new Darren Aronofsky movie, Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz. Looks fun. Looks like a kind of like scuzzy crime movie that I think that's going to be a good time. You've got two indie movies, one called Twinless that got a lot of really good hype out of Sundance. Another one called Splitsville about this kind of open relationship, two friends and two relationships going in their separate ways. Supposed to be very funny. I'm excited to check that one out as well. You've got The Long Walk, the new Stephen King adaptation that looks really good, directed by Francis Lawrence, who did Constantine and the Hunger Games sequels. Okay. Kind of an underrated director. I really like him a lot. And then at the end of September, you've got a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, that looks really good. I don't know if the studio knows what to sell. You can tell the studio is like, is it an action movie? It is a comedy. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to sell it. This is the opposite of Weapons. We knew how to sell weapons. Right. What are we supposed to do with this? But they gave Paul Thomas Anderson $100 million to make like a Thomas Pynchon riff. And I'm like, 10 out of 10, put it in my veins. Like I want to see the hell out of that. So
absolutely.
I'm sure people will talk about how it's a massive flop and how it didn't make enough money. And I will be sitting there going, wow, I enjoy. Thank you. Somebody gave $100 million to Paul Thomas Anderson and said, go wild. And I hope he does. I hope it's a great time.
Matt, thank you so much as always, buddy. We'll get back to you. We'd love to have you do the popcorn pick, but thanks as always. Great stuff.
I would be honored, Pete. It is always a great time. Thanks for having me.
All right. Matt Miller, check out his work. We're coming right back to finish up with your texts. Folks, it's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
As Wisconsin is hitting the road on your Harley. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. Keeping you informed, entertained, and connected to your local community. Here's Terry Barr with the Civic Media Radio Network.
If you're a fan of Brewers baseball, there's a new reason to celebrate. A just-released survey by the Action Network ranks American Family Field at number 3 for its hot dogs. Fans buy more than 8,300 at every home game and at a tasty price, a little more than $4 each. It gives Milwaukee one of the best affordability scores out of all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums. The Mets are last with the most expensive hot dog at close to $8. So who's the top dog? Seattle is number 1. And by the way, the Cubs hot dog lands them at $12. And the survey shows Milwaukee fans are also cheering about the game day experience with higher marks than most of all the other ballparks. Until next time, I'm Terry Barr.
Ganio Clay Products in Green Bay salutes our emergency first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, and paramedics for their professionalism, commitment, and bravery. These men and women put their lives on the line for us. First responders deserve our admiration, so thank them for everything they do for us. This from Ganio Clay Products in Green Bay, your brick, stone, and fireplace experts since 1914. Visit GAGNONClayproducts.com or call 920-498-8549.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
Shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
You couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/contest-terms. As Wisconsin is saying the word bag instead of bag. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite, a Wednesday version of Nite Lite. I think I just said a Wednesday version of Nite Lite.
We don't want that.
I don't know if that means anything, but kind of sounded cool. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? Like a Bloody Mary chaser, calling a water fountain a bubbler. My favorite, I think, of the night is Matt Rothschild saying that we bring our kids to the bar. Kids can drink if their parents are with them. That's a great one. John in the 608, John Murray says, here in Wisconsin, we eat cold brats for breakfast before we go to a neighborhood festival where we enjoy music and eat more brats for lunch. My cousins in Oakland, California think brats look gross and will not even try one. Well, see what he did there? He asked a question and made a statement. It's a callback to my quirk. Here's where I'm at with brats. I've eaten enough of them in my life, and I'm getting older. I don't want to eat more brats. But I see one at a party, and I'm going to attack it like I'm on the Discovery Channel. That's the problem. And usually I'll say I'll have one brat this summer just to have one, but I usually end up having like 4 or 5.
They're so good. You know, last week I went to Walmart, and I was just looking through their deli section, or not their deli, their their meat section, and I found a Chipotle brat.
Oh.
And boy, was that good.
Here's what I'll say about brats. Like Italian sausage, like most meat or protein does not taste good unless you doctor it up.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to put something on it, whether
ketchup.
It's salmon, chicken, it's all bland. But a bratwurst on its own has that salty, cured, it's probably the best protein without any kind of condiment or seasoning, I guess.
You know what I put on it? Is hot honey ranch.
Did you tell me that?
No, the other one I told you about was that
mustard.
That cherry honey mustard.
Yeah, that sounded good too.
I've already gone through that. That's gone.
Can't get more
I
of
literally put it on like everything for a solid 2 weeks.
It's like the Sydney Sweeney soap. You can't find it anywhere. John Murray in the 608 also says, in Wisconsin, drinking tons of beer is a rite of passage. Change happens really, really slow, I suppose. I think he means I suppose. John also says, in Wisconsin, fibs are the enemy, even though they visit all year and spend $1 billion here. Maybe we drink too much beer? Logic is optional on this one. Thank you, John. John is fun with the question. I love that. There we go, Black Box. Let's go to the stream. Our pal Dave from Marinette, originally from Marinette, says, how we pronounce creek. Oh, that's a great one. How do you say that word?
Creek.
Me too. But a lot of people in Wisconsin say crick.
Yeah, I've heard that. Now, yeah. Down by the creek.
Yeah, if you're going to say some guy's a creep, you don't say, well, he's a crip, because that means something totally different, right? It means he's a gangbanger. Someone's a freak. They're a frick. No, freak is spelled differently. All right. John says, oh, we already read that one. Okay, I want to make sure we have so many texts here for the contest. Tony the Trucker says, 6 of one, half dozen of another. Go figure. You worked 2 of them in there. Well done, Tony from the 608. Love it. Steady Eddie says, Pete, in Wisconsin, some of us celebrate our excessive drinking like no other state. Fictitious example. Yeah, sure. He says, I drank so much beer last night that I passed out and literally drowned in a pool of my own vomit. Doctors somehow miraculously revived me. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. Best night of my life. You betcha, a real raging kegger. By the way, what bar are we drinking at tonight? Hey there, Steady Eddie. Oh, he worked several to one text.
That was beautiful.
Very well done. Daniel just reminded me I've got social media texts I've got to get to here. But Daniel says on the stream, he says, I've been perturbed by the onslaught of marketing dollars telling me weapons is the greatest thing ever made. It was good, but I'd rank Bring Her Back well above it. Interesting. I have not seen that. Daniel is a filmmaker himself, and I am inclined to agree with what he says there. Sydney from Oregon says, I need to go back to the last question of the night when you were in studio. The sex tape I'd least like to see is Calvin and Jacob.
Those are fellow producers in the Civic Media Radio Network.
Oh, that's horrible. Why would you suggest that? Sydney from Oregon. That's terrible. Do they have a sex tape that I'm unaware of?
I don't believe so.
Wouldn't it be weird if all the Civic Media producers got freaky sometimes, just made sex tapes as a side hustle?
I've never attended one of those.
Yet, Conrad, yet. Annie from Watertown says, mass-produced meat has no flavor. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, a bratwurst at least has some taste on its own. Steve from Florida, Conrad's dad, says the Wisconsin famous Friday night fish fry. That is a quirk of ours that is beautiful. Yeah, but where do you can't find bluegill.
This still makes me a little sad.
Yeah.
There's
Maybe
one
you should start
place.
something.
There's one place in Milwaukee where I found a bluegill on the Friday night fish list.
No kidding. Are you going to share?
3 months later, it closed down.
You're out of business.
I was so sad, and the place that took it over did not have bluegill.
Bluegills are hard to come by, maybe.
No, definitely not in Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're pretty easy to find.
I walk out on the street here. I see 50 bluegills walking around.
Yep.
Dave on the stream also says, I can't tell you how often I have to say that was a question. That was a question then, Dave. And Daniel also on social media, he left us a text that says, I use the phrase you bet constantly, and it only struck me as something regional when a non-Midwesterner asked what it meant. You bet is just Midwestern. I thought that was like a...
You betcha.
You betcha is Midwestern, yeah. Rex Sykes, our pal on social media, says, everything is by time in L.A. In Wisconsin, people say, I'm not driving 2 miles to get to Walmart. I used to drive between 30 minutes and an hour to go to breakfast daily in L.A. Distance in Wisconsin might be same as L.A., but time takes to get there is vastly different. Rex, buy some eggs, man. Eat at home. Don't drive an hour for breakfast. I know Rex lives in Wisconsin right now. He's been on the show. Hey, great fun tonight, folks. Thanks so much for making this easy, the comeback off the staycation. Great to be back here. Thank you for joining me tonight and Conrad. And, boy, thanks to Todd Michaels.
Yeah.
Always fun to catch up with Todd about really cool stuff. And, of course, Matt Miller. Thank you for all your texts and calls. On behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
We're making out, oh yeah. Oh, take me to